Welcome, everyone, to another episode of A Sister and Her Mister. Today, we have a fellow follower, Taylor, who lost 50 pounds while following the PCOS weight loss method between January and October. Welcome, Taylor. I'm so excited to chat with you and spill all the tea on how you made so much progress.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Doctor said you got PCOS. Now go on, girl, just lose some weight. Till I took the symptoms into my own hands and reversed them naturally.
Awesome. Well, we went live together and it went so well. The audience was like cheering you on the whole time.
Yeah, that was huge.
So
I watched the replay of it. It was
Yeah.
such a great live.
Yeah. So this will be so much fun. So I want to start off by asking you, tell us a bit about how you got diagnosed with PCOS at 16. And I remember you told me you had fibromyalgia and all of these other symptoms that you were struggling with before you finally, started making changes and lost the weight.
Yeah. So when I had first, this is going back to when I first started my period. I kind of had irregular periods, and so I thought, okay, this is just normal. This is how it is. But it got to a point where it was months at a time that I wouldn't have it, and I was just stressed all the time, and I was in a lot of pain, just kind of everywhere. And that's both with the PCOS and the fibromyalgia.
Mhm.
And so I talked to my mom, and I told her, I said, hey, I think there might be something that we should look into. And I'm very grateful that she took me to go and get it checked out. And then they found cysts on my ovaries. I believe my testosterone was high, and there was one other marker that I had. I can't remember. But yeah, that's when I got diagnosed with it. And the first thing that they did was prescribe me birth control. And
First thing.
right. That was the first thing that they did. The whole lose some weight, try these birth control pills, things like that. And it just wasn't working. It just left me more stressed. And, I just couldn't figure out what was going on, and I couldn't lose weight. And, that's when I got so fed up with it. And I looked you guys up on YouTube. I just typed in PCOS weight loss, and you were the first thing to pop up. And I looked into your channel, and a lot of what you are saying is, it makes sense. You have all of these explanations and evidence to back everything up. And so I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. And now I'm 50 pounds down, and I've kept it off.
That's amazing. Well, congratulations for all the hard work and all the progress you made. It's a testament to how dedicated you were to your own health and to your PCOS. And it sounds like when you were first diagnosed and they were given birth control, they didn't even teach you anything about your own body, about how these things work.
Not at all.
It's just here, take this pill. It's a magic thing, and it's gonna help you, right? That was the vibe you got.
That was exactly it. They didn't tell me what the condition is at all. I never knew that there were different types of PCOS until I had watched your video on the types of PCOS and all of the hormones that it can affect and things like that. I just never got told anything. It was just, okay, you have PCOS, try this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no one really, nowadays people talk about it, but back then it was, or even now, people look at PCOS as this one thing. Okay, it's maybe you're overweight or something you need birth control, but it's not, they don't really talk about the cortisol or your testosterone levels, your insulin levels, all these things that affect your body and your PCOS and that cultivate over time.
Yeah, exactly. But it's great that you watched that video and you were able to target and pinpoint what the major root issue of your symptoms were.
Yep.
Because, it could be all of them, but one of them is the strongest. So it sounds like the high cortisol and the stress was affecting your PCOS. And I think a lot of people listening right now know that insulin resistance can really affect PCOS, but you rarely do you realize the stress and the cortisol and what that can do to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So tell us a bit about what were your first steps? What did you start doing in the beginning? Because of course it can be overwhelming. There's so many things you could do.
Of course. Yeah. So like I said, the very first thing was that I found your channel and I watched the types of PCOS. And from there were two main things that I focused on. I was doing the slow weighted workouts that you had on your channel and just really taking the time to feel good instead of doing exercises that I quote unquote should be doing or working harder than I needed to, because you say in your videos, it stresses you out, it brings your cortisol up, and it's just a whole lot of inflammation and things like that.
Yeah.
And then the second thing that I focused on was I know I've said this before, but I did a really deep dive into cortisol and how it affects your metabolism and how PCOS is a metabolic condition in itself.
Mhm.
And so I was just kind of looking into, okay, how do I reset my metabolism? Because, I was cutting calories, I was working out super hard, thinking that's what I needed to do to get to my goal weight, to get to where I wanted to be. But then when I was looking things up, I had seen that to get the metabolism working, to get the cortisol back down, I was eating every 2 to 3 hours. I was eating the correct amount to be fueling my body, so that way I wasn't constantly in fight or flight and stress mode. And a combination of both those slower workouts and the more intentional workouts, as well as the consistent food and the good, high quality food, and
Yeah.
I still eat, like chips or chocolate or something, but I don't deprive myself of much, except for, I am vegan and gluten free, but that's a whole other thing. But those were the things that helped the most.
It's amazing. Like you literally like shifted your body from being in this like fight or flight state where you were like probably like working out extensive like crazy and like not eating enough and putting your body in like this negative or malnourished state, if you want to say, which increases stress hormones even more.
Right.
And instead, you kind of focus on nourishing your body with more controlled workouts, feeding your body to make sure it's getting enough calories, protein, carbs, healthy fats, and then that just basically like switched your body into like this non-stress mode. It sounds like.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
exactly.
I want to dive into your workout like experience, because going from intense workouts to slow weighted workouts can be really shocking. So tell us like, what the first workout video felt like to you. Were you at home? Like, were you confused? Were you like, why are we going slowly? What is this 1 minute rest? Like,
Yeah, the first video that I had done, I did it at home, and I just had 5-pound dumbbells because that's all I had at the time. And I remember finishing the video. It was only 30 minutes long, and sitting and thinking to myself, like, that's it? That's all I need to do?
Yeah.
yes.
And and you had also talked about in the video, on the off days doing walks or other slow exercises to not spike the cortisol. And I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. And it changed my whole perspective on movement completely.
What made you like shift? Because sometimes, people, they're like hesitant to give it a try. And then when they feel good and they're like getting really good sleep and their sleep score is improving, and then like they, feel good the next day, and they're like, wait, this is good. And then they're addicted to doing the slow weighted workouts instead of being addicted to doing the high cortisol workouts, which can also be addicting because that cortisol and adrenaline feels good in the moment and you think it's good for you.
Yeah.
Right. For me, the thing that kept me going was just, I got so sick of trying everything. And, all of the do this challenge, do this challenge, do this, do that, do that, do that, And I thought, okay, you know what? I have nothing to lose if I try it like this. If I try this alternative direction, because again, it's completely different from what, I had been told to what I'd been doing. And so I thought, okay, well, if A isn't working, I'm going to stick with B just to see where it goes, just to see where it takes me. And then within that first month, I lost 4 pounds, and that was the most movement I had like ever seen on the scale.
Yeah.
And so I just kept going on like that, and it just slowly melted off.
Yeah, it's like compound effect, and which is why like 30 minutes. Of course, everything you did was so important, but the 30 minutes of exercises every time you do it, it's not just about that one day where you're trying to burn calories. It's more so about improving insulin sensitivity, keeping cortisol levels lower, and that effect compounds over weeks, months, to
Right.
where like now I'm sure your metabolism is super healthy and you don't feel
Mhm.
like you're like slowed down by food and things like that. It's just
No.
that whole like it takes months, but once you get there, it feels like it's a permanent change.
Yeah, that's been the biggest thing because I lost it in that amount of time, but it's been a year since I got down to like my lowest weight, and I've still been in, within that range of like 1 or 2 pounds, but
Yeah.
it's still been off, and I haven't gained it back uncontrollably, but I'm still eating,
Yeah.
and that's the crazy thing to me.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I mean, you said you
Mhm.
lost 50 pounds from January to October. That's 10 months. So it's around 5 pounds per month.
Yeah.
And,
Mhm.
for anyone who's listening, sometimes it's discouraging because you don't think that's a lot, but look at the compound effect of that and the consistency and how you were able to keep it off and feel
Right.
good while doing it and not feel like you're on some crazy diet, doing some crazy restriction or just like a quick workout challenge that's crazy. Like it does not need to be crazy.
Exactly. I think that's the scariest thing for a lot of people trying to lose weight is, they want to lose weight and they want to lose it fast. But a lot of these programs and challenges are incredibly unsustainable.
Yeah.
And I I kind of had to trust the process, because like you said, it is, discouraging. Okay, only 5 pounds. Okay, well, why am I even doing this? But I hear this so often, especially with people, because I've kind of looked at some other sisters' videos when they talk about like your methods and stuff. And they just they just talk about, it takes a long time, but it is a lifestyle change. It's a complete turnaround. It's a complete 180 from what you were doing. And it will change your life. And that's the most sustainable thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what really takes the longest is the compound effect of all the things. So, like
Mhm.
you started with workouts, but then I know you also did other things like gluten free and dairy free. And figuring that out and being consistent with it is a
Right.
bit challenging because you've never done it before. You go out to eat, you accidentally eat something, like it just
Yeah,
and then there's like emotions and psychology behind it where you feel like
absolutely.
because you ate something, everything's going down the drain. And I mean, there's a lot of like lessons to be learned along the way
Right.
before it becomes a lifestyle. For me, it took like years to figure out how to lose just 30 pounds with PCOS because back then there were no resources. We did
Right.
not exist. There
Right.
was no Instagram.
No TikTok.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so by the time I figured out all the puzzle pieces that came together, oh my gosh, like it took absolutely forever. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
So,
definitely.
how has like this changed the way you look at one PCOS and like your body and overall health? Like, how do you feel like now that you've learned about like how to focus on hormone balance, how it changes your outlook on everything else?
Oh, that's a good question. It's kind of, in a way, it's almost a liberating point of view. If that makes sense, I'm no longer quote unquote a victim to like all of the conditions that I have because like I said, I have PCOS and fibromyalgia, and those can feel really discouraging at times because they're not really curable things. And they're things that are most likely going to be with me for life. But what this journey taught me is that they aren't in control of me and that I can work with them and that
Yeah.
it's much better to listen to what I need and, the slow weight workouts and eating and fueling and nourishing and things like that. And just taking the time to feel better for myself is the best way, I guess, to live my life. That
Yeah.
Yeah.
sounds kind of silly, but
No, no, it makes
um,
total sense.
Yeah.
yeah, that's been the biggest change for me, I think.
Yeah. It's interesting how just starting with taking care of yourself can change everything else around you. I
Yeah.
remember someone DM'd us once and said that she went to law school because she managed her PCOS, because
Wow.
she could sleep at night and focus when she studied. Like she attributed going to law school and pursuing a career to being able to manage PCOS. Otherwise, she had so much fatigue. She could
Yeah.
not handle, like how you have brain fog. How would you do
Right.
something so complicated like law school when PCOS is like pulling you down? So, I mean, it's like beyond just a vanity and like losing 50 pounds. It's like
Right.
way beyond that.
No, exactly. I can kind of relate to that actually, because, we're taught the grind culture. We have to do this. We always have to be on it. And we're not successful unless we're doing 3 different things at a time, and you have to do this because this is the way it is, or you should do this, you should do that. You're not doing enough. But like learning to slow down and just realizing that everything doesn't have to be so hard can, it really changed. I'm changing my, I'm still getting my master's degree right now, but I've kind of changed the direction that I want my life to go, I guess.
Yeah.
Because there was one way that I thought it would be for my entire life, like from the time I was a little kid up until I got my bachelor's degree, that I was like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. But just realizing that, this doesn't feel right for me. It feels like a push every single day. And yeah, I was fatigued all the time because I was so stressed, because it just wasn't the right thing for me. And then I sat with myself and thought, I don't have to do this. I don't have to push myself this hard. And I'm choosing a different path now. And I do definitely attribute that to this whole journey, because it played a large role in recognizing that it's okay to slow down and it's okay to take time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if something's not serving you like positively, you don't have to force yourself to be tortured doing it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think that was like the same experience for me when I realized like, okay, I'm studying health sciences, but I hate half the subjects that I have to study. So I would rather study nutrition, and it does not need to be so hard. Like not that it was easy. It's just like I'm not good at like physics and like beyond OChem. I do not want to learn one more thing. And I could like bury my head in a book and torture myself and do it. But do I even care? Like, no, you know what I mean? Like, do I want to be a dietitian or a doctor? Like, you don't have to do the hard thing because that's how you're programmed, and that's how you see life, and that's how you see your workouts, and that's how you see everything. It doesn't need to be like that. Like everything can just be nice and also like reach a goal at the same time,
Totally.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then I know earlier you were speaking about like how it was so like all these challenges, all these programs, all like it's complicated or just like confusing. I know that also you had mentioned earlier before we started that like supplements have been one thing for you that's been like confusing and kind of like hard to navigate. What can we? We love to kind of like make this like a Q&A section and like answer any questions you might have about like what you're looking at or what you're thinking about. Maybe we can help guide you there.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Because I've been following you, I've heard about inositol and I've heard about magnesium and things like that. And I guess my biggest question is, where do I even begin?
With supplements?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I mean, of course, like if you've with your labs done, have they confirmed that you have insulin resistance, or has it been more so about like adrenal fatigue with high cortisol and like what aspects could you kind of highlight for us?
The only thing that I can really remember, because that was like 6 or 7 years ago. It was
changed from then.
Yeah.
For sure. I do want to get them redone, but just the high testosterone. And I believe there was something with my adrenal glands, that there was something just out of balance.
What about symptoms? Because sometimes, by the time you get your labs done and all of that, or even if some people can't even get their doctors to get them to do the labs.
Right.
Whatever. So what about your symptoms? Like, do you have sugar cravings? Do you feel bloated? Do you have skin issues?
Actually, yeah. Sugar cravings and bloating. Those are my biggest things when I'm feeling a flare up, is I start to want a bunch of sugar and I'm just super bloated no matter what I eat.
Okay.
Well, that's, as soon as someone tells me they have sugar cravings, I tell them take your inositol. What are
Okay.
we?
Yeah.
It's like
Gotcha.
the first line approach for PCOS. I'm joking.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But to add on to that while Tanya recovers, but yeah, because inositol is it's literally of all the supplements in the world, it's the most researched supplement for PCOS specifically.
Wow.
So
Okay.
the reason why is it helps with insulin resistance, and 80% of women with PCOS have insulin resistance. So more
Right.
than likely, I mean, I'm not, of course, I can't tell you right now if you have it or not, but
Mhm.
because 8 out of 10 women have it, more than likely, if you're having a lot of cravings,
Right.
things like that, what is it, sugar tooth? What is it called?
Sweet tooth.
Sweet tooth. Yeah.
That could be a sign that you have insulin resistance. So inositol is a really great option because it's also, like, compared to other things out there, much cheaper, easily accessible, and usually available like worldwide, depending on where you are. So that's a
Wow,
great
okay.
place to start for sure. And then speaking of high testosterone, if you look into omega-3 fish oil, like the omega-3 gels like that you can take,
Yeah.
because they've been shown to, one, help with insulin resistance, so it will help with cravings, but also it helps with lowering testosterone levels to really help
Okay.
with like also bloating and things like that.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so I would definitely, like you said, start with inositol, and then did you say omega-3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then what else was I gonna say?
But I would say though, since you mentioned it's been 6-7 years, we always recommend to everyone, if you can, because I know it's not very easy, but if you can get your labs
Mhm.
done, because if you have PCOS at least once a year, that's gonna help see like what is, 'cause
Okay.
you obviously have improved on a lot of things, but
Right.
what other area can I even make better, or just to make sure everything is good. It gives you one motivation too, because you see the improvement over a year to help
True.
continue, and just to see like, okay, I can maybe improve this by doing this extra little thing, or taking this supplement, or what have you.
Yeah.
Right.
I also think that with PCOS, everyone should be taking a core multivitamin. We have our
Okay.
Meta Multi, and it has nutrients in it that many of us are deficient in. So even if
Mhm.
you're eating healthy, even if you're, doing all the things and seeing progress, just having PCOS, you're in like a chronic inflammatory state that you're constantly fighting. And
Mhm.
you're constantly eating a certain way, working out a certain way to manage that, and
Right.
living a certain way. But at the same time, it can strip you of essential nutrients that help you manage insulin resistance. So like magnesium and zinc could be missing from
Mhm.
your body. Um, so it doesn't hurt to have like a core multivitamin that you're taking to help fill those nutrient gaps. And at the same time, a anti-inflammatory supplement like curcumin to help reduce
Okay.
inflammation as well. Ours is extremely absorbable, so you don't have to take large amounts of
Right.
it to
Yeah.
get what you need. And it is specifically curcumin, not turmeric. Curcumin is like the active ingredient in turmeric, and it has shown to help with insulin resistance and reduce inflammation
For PCOS women.
for PCOS women. So since we're
Oh.
like constantly dealing with PCOS, like these are the core things I would take if I were you, is just that multivitamin, curcumin, omega-3, and then inositol as well. Inositol you take
Mhm.
twice a day. So I would make that part of your routine, and just to help accelerate progress and feel good. And I know you said fibromyalgia, so that's inflammatory too. And
Right.
to just keep it all together,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of
Yeah, of
course. I'll
course.
send you the links, and we'll link them in the description too.
And
Great.
actually, since you did come on a live with us and you're doing a podcast interview with us, sharing your experience and like spreading awareness with us, we're gonna send you something free
Let's just send
as
it
a
to him.
gift. Especially it's like Christmas time, we'll send you a little gift with some of the stuff that we talked about, just to help you with your progress,
Awesome.
or to
Thank
help you
you.
get started.
Thanks, you guys. That's great.
Of course,
Chris,
of course.
I'm excited for you. I love that, you put your exercise and diet first before supplementation.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Sometimes people start with supplements, and that kickstarts feeling better. And then it's easier to change your diet when you don't have as many cravings, because inositol helps. But, you
Yeah.
did it the other way around, and that's great too. And
Yeah.
so that's, you're really going to see such great progress by like marrying these two together,
I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then before we go, we always like to ask this question to all sisters that we interview, and that is, What would you say to someone with PCOS who feels stuck or who feels like things have slowed down for them? Maybe they got newly diagnosed and they don't feel like they have anywhere to go. What would you say to them to help them continue in their journey?
Just that it's possible to be friends with PCOS and to
Oh my
not
gosh,
have
I
it
love.
be your enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I never use the word fighting PCOS,
Yeah.
or I don't like to say like I'm a victim of PCOS. Like this
Mhm.
type of vocabulary makes you see it like this enemy, and you can live with it and it can serve you and help you live a better life and more and be more intentional about yourself and your health and everything more than the people around you
Yeah.
in such a beautiful way
Right.
that it doesn't have to hold you back.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Oh,
love
I
that.
love that. Good
Being
job. That's
friends
a
with
good
PCOS.
answer.
That's a great quote right there.
Thank you. All right.
Amazing.
It was so good to talk to you guys.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
Thank you, Taylor, for joining us today. And it's this honestly helps like the entire community. Anyone who listens to this, it gives them new hope, or it gives them even better hope than they had before. So we just really appreciate you coming on, sharing your journey with us and everybody else. And yeah, we look forward to always speaking with you in the DMs or anywhere and kind of keep up with your PCOS journey.
Of course. I'm so happy to be part of the sisterhood. You guys have a
Oh,
great thing here.
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you want to get started like Taylor, head over to our YouTube channel to watch the workouts that we have there for PCOS weight loss. And if you want a workout plan, a meal plan, a whole community, weekly coaching calls, and so much more, you can go ahead and download the Sisterhood app where you get a 7-day trial and you get access to the largest community of PCOS women losing weight and showing PCOS who the boss is. See you there.